so we'll figure out who's going to be in the playoffs officially after this weekend. But unfortunately, as we get into it, we're going to have to begin with some sad news. Had a very big name within the NASCAR ranks pass away this past week. After that, we'll talk schedules. Good bit of the show is going to be spent talking about the 2026 NASCAR schedules. All 3 top series have released it. Xfinity Series set to be no more, and we know officially who the new title sponsor is going to be of the series. If you are somebody who wants more moonlighting of Cup Series drivers, that could happen. And that and much more. See how much we can fit in on this week's edition of CRN. Going live next.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing Network. And we're back to more racing action on the Championship Racing Network.
Well, good morning to you. I'm Steve West. That guy over there is Matt Nicholson. The guy behind the scenes running everything on the YouTube side is going to be one producer, John, whose sister, by the way, is having a birthday. We'll celebrate that on CRN Live most of the morning. In the meantime, first things first, how are you? How you feeling? All good?
Yeah, I'm good. It just seems like springtime all over again with allergy problems, just out of nowhere. But hey, overall, I'm good.
I know. Welcome to it. Let's talk about some recaps from last week, and we'll actually start with IROC. It's kind of good to say that.
That's the first.
Truth be told, it's kind of good to say that. Racing for them, first race since 2006. Took the twisty WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca during the Rolex Monterey Motorsports reunion. Now, as to kind of opposed to last year when they showed up at Lime Rock Park, this is more than just an exhibition where they just kind of drove around the track. This time they actually got into some racing. and brought back a whole lot of cars from their past, really pretty much from first year to final year.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who claimed the pole on Friday, as we talked about on the show last week, Tommy Dreese, who's a sports car driver by trade. He also claimed the win in his 2006 Pontiac Firebird, trailed by the Firebirds of Dario Franchitti, Kurt Busch, and Jeff Gordon. Yeah, all the most recent models of those. Then you get to Scott Borchetta. He claimed fifth in a 1994 Dodge Avenger. Any of that really surprise you when it comes to the years? I'm not really sure that it does me.
The top three, no.
Yeah.
Well, top four, no.
Okay. It's a nice run by Scott.
Top five, the fifth is Scott. Maybe so, yeah, because I would have expected one of the Firebirds.
Yeah, I think so too. And Patrick Long with a nice job of finishing sixth in a 1978 Chevrolet Camaro. Danny Sullivan in another 94 Avenger. 2001 Firebird driven by Bobby Labonte was eighth. Ross Merrill in a 78 Camaro ninth. 1998 Firebird with David Roberts filled out the top 10. Ray Evernham, who owns the IROC series, has not yet said what his plans are for the near future of the series, maybe a potential new race car or anything like that. So hopefully we'll find out something here before the end of this year. Saturday night, last week, Richmond Cup Series got in the Cookout 400. Now, last year at this race, this was the one that Austin Dillon claimed the win, but he did so in a manner where, well, he was a bully. NASCAR stripped him of the win, stripped him of his playoff eligibility, and that was that. This time, Richard Childress Racing brought the three-car another bullet. He didn't need to knock several other drivers out of the way in order to claim the win this time either. Ended up leading 107 laps on the evening, final 49 of them. He's now locked into the playoffs. This creates a little bit more havoc around the cut line because with Austin's win, it means you've got a weird situation. Let's deal with it. Austin Dillon wins. Alex Bowman second. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Austin Cindric in there. Rest of your top 10, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, Josh Berry, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin. Updated standings. Here comes the chaos. Denny Hamlin, Shane Van Gisbergen on top, 4 wins each. 3 wins each for Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. 2 wins for William Byron. The updated list of single-time winners now includes Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, and Austin Dillon. That's your seed order. Only 2 slots now are left to get in on points. Those 2 slots are held by Tyler Reddick, who's 29 points above the cut line. Alex Bowman is in there. And I use Alex Bowman as the cut line. And I get it. A lot of people do this a little bit differently. You think about it, Alex Bowman sits 60 over Chris Buescher. That's 16th and 17th.
Yeah.
But I'm using Alex Bowman as a cut line because that's 16th place, and we're going to Daytona tonight. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the wild card of all wild cards.
And yet we have people pitching a fit and raising King because they don't want Talladega as a round opener or a round closer. But yet we can close the regular season at a super speedway.
Yeah.
Get out of your chair in the office that you're in, whoever you are.
Yeah. Chris Buescher technically is the only driver that has a mathematical chance to actually bump in on points. But you want to talk about needing everything to go perfect. Everyone else needs a win. Reddick has kind of all but clinched a playoff spot. Could things happen? Yes.
60? He would have to max out every single point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Technically, it's possible. Technically, it's possible.
Technically, yes, but it ain't happening.
No. But I'm just letting you know. Feasibly, so you're saying there's a chance. Yes, a 0.00001% chance. But there's a chance. We'll see. All of this stuff could drastically change before the end of the night.
It could.
Because if you think about it, Alex Bowman can overtake Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, because there's a 29-point gap.
And then you turn around and get somebody like a Chris Buescher or a Kyle Busch, for that matter, somebody who is well below the cut line, who comes in and claims a win. Mm-hmm. Again, more than feasible, more than possible. Now, all of a sudden, Tyler Reddick goes from being all but a lock, say, 3 weeks ago, to being out.
Which is crazy.
Isn't it, though?
But it is what it is.
Uh-huh. Sunday, The racing stage belonged to the Straightliners at the NHRA. They were contesting the NHRA Lucas Oil Nationals up in Brainerd, Minnesota. Top fuel came down to a battle between Doug Kalita, Clay Milliken. Neither had a terrifically quick reaction time, but Kalita got off the line first. Milliken lost traction at the start. It was all Kalita. Had a clean run, claimed the win with a 3.670 ET, 298.40. I guess he figured out that he wasn't really in competition with anybody at one point and backed off. This is his second win of 2025, 57th of his career so far. Funny Car comes down to a battle between J.R. Todd and Austin Prock. Prock has the better reaction time, rolls away to the easy win, especially after Todd lights up the tires at the start line. Prock's run 3.907 ET, 321.5, so he put on a show, marked his 6th win of the year, 18th of his career, and claimed the regular season title for Funny Car in the process. Pro Stock Car came down to Greg Anderson taking on Dallas Green. Eyelash quicker off the light was Anderson. He wins a close one. 6.551 ET at 206.986 miles per hour. That was 2/100ths ahead of Glenn at the finish line. Those guys put on a show.
They did. They did.
Congratulations to them. All right, one more race for them in their regular season. They go to Indianapolis, and that'll set the guys who are going to be in, or the drivers who are going to be in for the countdown to the championship. Top fuel points right now led by Sean Langdon, up 48 over Tony Stewart, 111 up on Justin Ashley. Doug Kalita's 121 back, and Antron Brown 211 behind. All 5 of them locked into the countdown to the championship. Funny Cars led by Austin Prock, who again is the regular season champ. He's up 201 on Matt Hagan. Yep, can't beat that. 205 over Jack Beckman. The 3 locked into the countdown to the championship. Ron Capps 238 out, 285 back is Paul Lee. They still have not cemented their spots. Pro Stock Car points are led by Dallas Glenn. He's up 37 on Greg Anderson. It'll be a battle between those two for the regular season title because Matt Hartford is 391 out. 442 in front of Corey Reed is Dallas Glenn, and Eric Latino is 520 out of first, and he's in 5th. But all 5 of them are locked into the countdown to the championship, too. Pro Stock Motorcycle didn't run. They will at Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. This weekend, slate of racing started last night in Daytona. And if there's anything that Matt and I know about Daytona, it's that whenever racing is set for Daytona, it's going to rain.
Especially at night in Florida on the Atlantic coast.
And it did.
A lot.
But the Xfinity Series got in the Wawa 250 powered by Coca-Cola. Matt, what finally happened?
For the first time since 2007, when it happened at Milwaukee, we had a driver that was technically a fill-in win the race. Because we had a situation where, Connor Zilic, with his injury, he was cleared to drive, but as I said would happen before it was even announced, he would start the car, get out of the car, and get out of there.
Yeah. But they waited until what? First caution, was it?
First stage. Yeah, it was the very first caution.
Yeah.
And it was before the end of stage 1.
Okay.
So...
And from what I understand, they made that move to pull him out and get Parker in real smooth.
Oh, it was a very, very, very smooth transition and very fast, too.
Yeah. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. That's why I wanted to mention
it. No, it's not at all because you got to have, you can't take the belt off until you come to a complete stop.
Yeah.
The old days, you could have the belts off and everything, and when you stop the car, be jumping out of the car then.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching drivers who, as soon as they hit pit road, they were pulling. They were taking,
stuff,
the helmet was, getting loose all the stuff, and then they were taking off the belts. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. Connor Zilic gets credit for the win, but Parker Kligerman won the race in the car. With a 1-2-3 junior motorsports finish. Sammy Smith second, Justin Allgaier third, Jesse Love fourth, Sam Mayer fifth, Brandon Jones, Dean Thompson, Garrett Smithley, Brennan Poole, and Carson Quapple rounding out the top 10. So, dear Dale Kelly and L.W. Miller, I will take full credit for that notion that was put out there to let him start the car and get out of the car to where he can keep his hopes for a regular season championship alive, because he's now credited with 7 wins. So no reason that he shouldn't. So you're welcome.
There you go. All right. Here's the rundown. When it comes to the points, again, Connor Zilic now 7 wins on the season. Jeez. Credit for it anyway. Justin Allgaier has 3, along with Austin Hill, even though he doesn't get credit for those when it comes to the playoffs. Single-time winners include Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez. Drivers in on points: Carson Kvapil, Sheldon Creed, Taylor Gray, and Harrison Burton. Harrison's got a 36-point lead over his cousin Jeb for that final slot. That's not an easy hurdle to jump over either, and they've got, is it 1 or 2 races before the end of their regular season?
2.
So it's possible, but Harrison's going to have to really stub his toe, and Jeb better get on his high horse. That's basically how that works.
Quickly.
Tonight, also at Daytona, Cup Series gets in the regular season finale. They're going to run the Coke Zero Sugar 400 on NBC. It'll actually show up on Peacock. I can watch it tonight. What do you know? And MRN Radio starts 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Apparently, the 4 races that they show on NBC will show up on Peacock. But despite the fact that it's still NBC Sports and their affiliated company, USA Network, Peacock will not show the races that are on the USA Network. What a rip.
It doesn't add up.
No, it really doesn't. Sunday. NTT IndyCar Series set to run the famed Milwaukee Mile. Going to run the Snap-on Milwaukee 250 on Fox, airing at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Time, which means that everybody else, IHRA, NHRA, Formula One, Craftsman Truck Series, they're all off this weekend. But don't worry. Action's about to pick up next week. But we got a lot of good action to talk about anyway. Unfortunately, also on deck, we got to talk about something that I hate. The passing away of a big name within the world of NASCAR.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to try and put his impact somewhat into perspective in the grand scheme of sports. And then later on, we're also going to talk about schedules.
Prepare yourselves.
Cup, Xfinity, and trucks all came out.
We will be right back with